Welcome back to Morgan Park for round 5 of the 2017 Yamaha Motor Finance Australian Superbike Championships presented by Motor Pirelli. Mark Brax joins me in commentary as the riders are out on track now for the Club Challenge event here this weekend. There's some absolutely unbelievable motorcycles out there in this Club Challenge event. Braxy, welcome to the commentary box and very sunny Morgan Park.
It's a beautiful day here. The clouds have just started. It was a pristine morning. Clouds are just coming in, but it's going to be a beautiful day all round. And the Club Challenge, good to see the boys from the Motorcycle Sportsmen's Club from Queensland, the ones that do a lot of the organising here this weekend. The boys get out and in front of a big crowd and have a bit of a play. And I must say that the racing, the local racing up here in Queensland is pretty strong. They had a meeting here a couple of weeks ago, and the 300 class had 60 odd entries. They had to split it into two distinct races, and these guys have got a chance. Lee Holmes coming up there on pole position on bike number 3. The ex-Victorian, he's the current club champion in this category on the ZXR 400s. The predominantly ZXR 400 or 400cc machines in this category. Phil, except one little bit of exotica, a very rare TZR 250 Yamaha that only a few of them came out and made onto the streets by Glenn Chandler, one of the the older stages there.
And the speed of that bike on the straight, when I was watching this morning in warm-up, it was clearly faster than pretty much anything else out there in a straight line. In a straight line,
but I tell you what, Lee Holmes has got it pretty well wired on bike number 3 on that little Kawasaki. He won by about 20 odd seconds yesterday afternoon's opening race as they head off now on their warm-up lap. So we've had 14 competitors in this race yesterday afternoon. Hopefully they've all made it through. And these guys know Morgan Park better than most around this place. They race here quite regularly at this magnificent layout on the outskirts of Warwick.
It is a fun, tricky little track, isn't it, Braxy, too? I went for a bit of a walk around yesterday afternoon with Troy Herfoss when he was giving us the lowdown on all of the intricacies of the circuit here at Morgan Park. And there certainly are a lot of very tricky corners, some extremely slow corners, but also some extremely fast corners as well.
Yeah, it is. It's got a bit of everything, and some blind corners, a few bumps in it due to the cars that race around here, and same by the Warwick Sports Car Club as well. Great establishment out here with the drag strip, the campground, everything that you need in a recreational facility, I presume. And they make good use of it here at Warwick. As now they're coming through this, got about an 8-lap sprint for these guys again today. There's a few there that, we had a good battle for second position yesterday between Waddy Nadsri. He came third at the end. And good result for him. He's only been racing a couple of years as Waddy, and he's picking up pace very, very quickly.
Yeah, and also one of the mainstays of the 400 class too, the Honda VFR 400. And they sound absolutely fantastic, little V4 400cc machines. So keep an eye out for Anthony Carroll on board his bike, bike number 4, and also Waddy Nadsri, who, as you said, went pretty well yesterday. Those two will start from the front row of the grid with our man that won yesterday's race, Lee Holmes, on board that Kawasaki ZXR 400.
Yeah, Glenn Chandler there on that TZ in the second row. Mark Torrens, old Tozza there. He's been around a few years on his CBR 250. Michael Webb in position number 12 there while we're going through. There's Kieran McGowan, Gary Dixon, the father of Simon Dixon, the president of the Motorcycle Sportsman.
You think he'd be able to get his hands on one of those CBR 250 or 400s? As we get into the starters' hands now, red flag still at the front of the grid, so we're not quite ready for a start yet as the apparatus is just removed from the pit wall. Club Challenge, race 1 for the weekend, race 2 for the weekend, race 1 for the day. In the starters' hands now, and we're away. Great start there from bike number 3, Lee Holmes on board the Kawasaki ZXR 400, but I think that's Anthony Carroll going with him as well, down into turn 1 for the first time, and see how long they can hold on to the lightning fast Kawasaki, Braxy.
Yeah, well, he is lightning fast, and Lee Holmes, he's a club champion. He's come up here from Victoria a few years ago. He was a pretty handy punter down there as well, but he's been winning the championships here, and while these two might disappear at the front, there should be a good battle with the rest of them between Nasri, Chandler, Torrance, Carpenter and McGowan there.
Well, Carpenter got a great start, but he's lost 2 positions as they come down now into Pirelli corner for the first time.
Great camera angle there. It actually shows you a bit of the rise and fall of this Morgan Park layout as they come over the hill, that very fast turn 3.
Bike number 22, Glenn Chandler, having a big look up the inside there and moving up 1 position. I think that might even take him up into a 3rd place in this battle that's really for the last place on the podium now, as our front 2 have got away.
Yeah, Nadsri there in 2nd position, moving up 1 from where he was yesterday on bike number 828. There's the rest of the field coming through, but Lee Holmes is the one that's got the ascendancy at the moment. It's a matter of trying to keep him in check. As on screen we see Gary Dixon there on bike number 73, and Damien Coppola, no relation to Francis Ford Coppola, I do believe.
The famous movie maker.
Exactly, yeah. He's just like making his own mark on the track with the bike, not himself.
Well, you can see now that Holmes has pulled out a pretty impressive lead as they come across to complete the first lap of 8. And Anthony Carroll is in second place. But then the next group is not so far spread out with the third place rider at the moment. I think that's Chandler on board bike number 22, just starting to eke out a little bit of a gap over Nasri. And then it's Carpenter on board the 519 machine. Oh, listen to that, the V4 growl, Braxy. It does nothing like it, is there?
Not at all. And also just to have that little TZR 250 put in there as well for good measure, the old two-strokes.
And also the screaming CBR 250s that don't really start to work until about 15,000 RPM.
To get to the 18,000 RPM red line, yep. Tickling the gearbox pretty well there as the rest of them come through. Nasri, from Malaysian parents. He was born in Australia, though. He's been racing for a couple of years, and he just started to be a road rider. And the guy said, mate, come out to do a ride day and see what you reckon. And as one person said to me yesterday, they were looking, when he first came here, they were looking through the splits in their fingers going, oh, no, this couldn't be possible. But he's kept at it and getting faster and faster, and it's good to see.
Well, it's good to see the perseverance paying off now for Nasri, sitting in fourth place at the moment, as we said, but he's only 0.7 of a second or so behind Chandler in second place. Just looking at this battle now, I think that's the battle of 5th and 6th with Carpenter and McGowan on board the 519 and 79 machines.
And just behind him on bike number 12, I think it was. And we've got a girl in there, Mark. That was Mark Torrens in there from a better start and qualifying. Also Sarah Fairbrother. She's come through the junior ranks over the years and settling down now in Queensland and coming out and having a bit of a play. And also Michael Webb. He's sponsored by the Mojo Webb Band. He's a pretty good blues guitarist and operator up here in Queensland. So keep your eye on the Mojo Webb Band when they're around. A good motorcyclist is like playing a bit of the blues as well. And
you're saying about Sarah Fairbrother at the moment doing a great job holding down a top 10 position on board bike number 14, Braxton.
Mate, it's the girls are getting stronger and stronger, aren't they? Well, when we look at the other classes, we've got a smattering of girls all the way through up into the categories, the Super Sport 300s.
And great representation with a couple of girls in the Yamaha R3 Cup as well.
Yep, there were Taylor Ralph leading the way there, and Shani Pinfold as well. And, mate, the more girls, the better. As I keep saying, and we keep saying over the years, when you put your leathers in your helmet on, no one knows the difference, mate. You're just another competitor out there. Speaking of these competitors, in the Motorcycle Sportsman Club Challenge, proudly supported this weekend by another local manufacturer, Sharks Leathers. So it's good to see them getting on board as well.
So we've already seen Shark Corner bite a few people here this weekend too, Braxy, with that Super Sport 300 race early this morning. There's Nasri on board the 828 machine, still holding down fourth position, but Chandler's actually starting to get away a little bit. Fastest man on track, though, Lee Holmes on board the Kawasaki ZXR, a 1:23.165. He's the only rider in the 23s. In fact, the next fastest rider is Carroll on board bike number 4, a 1:25.871. Incidentally, he set his fastest lap on the last lap of the race, as did Holmes. And you have a look at the top 10, there was only 3 riders in that top 10 that actually didn't set their fastest lap of the race on the last lap. As we start now on lap 4, we're just past getting to the halfway point in this 8-lap journey for the Club Challenge, race number 2 here at round 5 of the 2017 Yamaha Motor Finance Australian Superbike Championship, presented by Motor Pirelli.
I'll tell you what, though, they've cut it down a bit, because yesterday Holmes had about a 4-second advantage in the lap time. So they've finally found their little niche to close the gaps down a bit. As on screen on the asbk.com.au live streaming, we've got Waddy Nasri. I suppose you could say, go Nasri.
You could.
Which we just did. And now they're starting to battle up a bit. They're tightening up a bit as Lee Holmes disappears into the distance. We're looking back through the field. We've got John Carpenter, probably the oldest statesman in the entire ASBK field this year. And also Mark Torrens is an elder statesman as well. But as we say, when you put the leathers and the helmet on, you don't know who's under it. And these guys have still got a pretty good turn of speed, no matter what the age. Behind him on bike number 79, that was at the moment, was McGowan, and then we've got Torrance. So they're going to have in a nice little three-way battle for positions 5, 6 and 7 as Lee Holmes clears out now to have a lead of 12.3 seconds after 4 laps, a half race distance. And, well, as we said, he cleared out to a lead of 23 seconds by the time the flag dropped yesterday afternoon at the final race of the day. But this is the hardest thing to do, Phil. You've got such a massive lead, but you've got to keep your concentration up. And Lee's doing that by a fastest lap of the race on lap 4, 23.3.
Yeah, I think that's 2 or 3 laps in a row now that he's actually set the fastest lap of the race. There's one of the more exotic machines, though, in this field. The TZR 250 as he makes his way through the sharp corner now, as we mentioned. Next rider through, Wadi Najri, still doing a pretty good job there, Braxy, to hang on. Having a look at their last laps, there was only 0.3 of a second between them in times on the last lap, with Chandler just eking out that fraction more of a gap over Wadi Najri on board the 828 machine.
Now, this is a battle between the 250 CBR that was just on screen between Carpenter and McGowan. McGowan riding the wheels off that little 250. Carpenter on the VFR 400 that Phil gets so excited about when he hears the V4 going past. There's only one sound better in a Honda V4. I think that was the old RC30 that one Ken Wooten used to own.
It was just a bigger version of the same motorcycle.
It was, wasn't it?
Also, don't mind the sound of that screaming 4-cylinder that's out the front, Braxy, either.
Well, it's green, isn't it? So we can't help that. You've got green blood in you, being the Kawasaki freak that you are.
And
Sportsman Club 250 Brigade, and well, he did something very, well, sacrilegious in a way. He's gone to a wedding in Melbourne this weekend, so I don't know how that interrupted the ASBK to get the president of motorcycle sportsmen out
Must
here.
be a very close friend is all I can say, as we see a bit of a battle starting to develop here between the 519 machine of John Carpenter, and I think that's McGowan that's closed right up onto the back of him now on the 79 machine.
The 400 versus the 250, and here he comes. Oh, McGowan trying to find a way through on bike number 79 on the battle for 5th and 6th position.
You can see he had to keep the throttle pin to try and stay anywhere near the 400 as they drive down this long hill, where Robbie Bugden said the track gets really thin really, really quickly.
Yeah, and very, very bumpy too, according to Wayne Maxwell and Cruella. Up the inside goes McGowan into take 5th position from John Carpenter.
That's a great effort to stay that close down that long, fast area of the track where you think the 400 should really just pull away a fraction. It does pull away as they come up the hill, though, where the 250 would really start to suffer.
Yeah, he'd be struggling. He'd be bouncing off the Rebel and with there in 18,000 revs as he goes through the gears. And you can see the 150cc's difference, the difference between John Carpenter maybe able to just pull past him. But the thing is, McGowan knows that he can get past him. Now he's just got to hold it that long out of the final couple of turns, the Yamaha chicane, turn 11 and 12. They bring him onto the straight as they go through turn 3 on their 7th lap of 8 laps. So just over a lap to go, and up the inside again goes McGowan into 5th position.
Obviously, he's got a lot of confidence in the front end, and he's able to brake late on the little 250 as well.
A little sly look over his shoulder going, Jono, where are you?
He's got the good line through that corner as well. I don't think the 519 machine of Carpenter can come back up the inside. Now, this corner, Braxy, actually comes right back on itself, doesn't it? It's more than a 90-degree corner to bring them back up through Yamaha Motor Insurance and through Shark Corner and down this, well, they call it the long back straight. It has got a bit of a twist in it, but it probably is the fastest part of the Morgan Park circuit.
Yeah, through that very fast high-tech battery sweeper there. And that continues through here, and there's a lot of bumps through there. There's an actual magic line to get through instead of hitting
on track.
Our screens on the asbk.com.au live streaming. We see Lee Holmes with daylight second. No, actually it's Andy Carroll is in 2nd position on his Honda VFR 400.
That's a fine looking ZXR 400 too, isn't it, Braxy?
It is.
In traditional Kawasaki colours of just all green.
Yeah, well, I think he's got as much green blood in him as you have, mate. He's and the racing runs in the family. His sister Vicky down in Victoria races a little 250 as well. So they love their racing, the Holmes clan. And he's taking another victory here as he comes across the start-finish line to get the checkered flag to take leg number 2 of the Shark Leathers Club Challenge here at Morgan Park for 2017 with Anthony Carroll coming through in 2nd position. Well, they've closed that down by a few seconds. Number 22 is Glenn Chandler. He'll be in 3rd position on his TZ 250.
Unfortunately, looks like Justin Wicker on the 666 machine has been lapped, so he'll get 1 lap less in this race. That's the TZ coming across the line now. He will finish in 3rd place. Chandler, great ride from him. But yes, Lee Holmes, certainly no one can get near him this weekend on track. Once he got through those first couple of corners, he just simply pulled away to another fantastic victory, Braxy. And Anthony Carroll in second place and Glenn Chandler on the podium, moving up one position.
Weekend Bike Championship here at Morgan Park that's proudly presented by Pirelli and Motul. Got plenty of good supporters through this, all the way through the manufacturers and everything we've got here. We've got plenty of good stuff, and also got a great display here at Morgan Park too for the punters that are coming through with the trade alley and everything.
I'm glad they actually showed a big shot of the crowd there, because there is a massive crowd around this circuit, Braxy, that are been piling in here since early this morning. There's confirmation of your results, with Lee Holmes taking victory on the Kawasaki ZX FAR 400 over Anthony Carroll on board a Honda VFR 400, and Glenn Chandler on that exotic Yamaha TZ250.
A two-stroke back on the podium.
Well, not only does it look good, sound good, it also smells fantastic as well.
Waddy Nadsby there in fourth, John Carpenter, Kieran McGowan there, just missing out on that good battle. Mark Torrance there in seventh, Gary Dixon, the elder statesman, in seventh position, and Sarah brother. And we just get a few of the highlights here of the club challenge. And
that was about the last time they actually saw our race leader Lee Holmes as they went through turn number one. Some great battles back in the pack though, started to develop early on. But it was Lee Holmes at this stage that had started to eke out a massive lead over the rest of the field.
This was a great battle, a 250 on bike number 79 McGowan up against the bike of Carpenter, the 400, as Holmes come through with a pretty easy victory, but he kept the lap times pretty consistent as well. He's a happy chappy, Lee.
Yep,
always loves a chat as well, the young fella.
A 22-second victory to go along with his impressive victory from yesterday as well, Braxton.
Yeah, and I think it'll be a matter of if they can keep him to being winning by under 20 seconds for the race later on this afternoon. As they come back into the podium now for the bit of a chat with our people down there.
Look at that TZR 250, Braxy. Calm down. It does look absolutely fantastic though, doesn't it?
It looks good on television, but when you see it up close and personal, and yeah, when it gets back and you got that nice smell of the two-stroke fumes in it, beautiful stuff as the handshakes go round from the supporters of Lee Holmes. And a great way to start your day of a Sunday with a win. And,
I think he's probably pretty impressed that you called him a young fella too, Braxton.
Yeah, well, if people see me, they probably understand why I am calling him young fella.
Everyone's called a young fella. Look at the crowd streaming across into the infield here at Morgan Park. There are certainly a lot of Queenslanders come out to enjoy the racing action here in southern Queensland here this weekend.
Yeah, they sure do. It's absolutely awesome to watch, and great to see the patronage of the people up here in Queensland. And that's the good thing about going to the regional areas of Australia, the Morgan Parks, the Hidden Valleys, the Winton Raceway, the Wakefield Parks and everything. The community gets right behind it. Everybody turns up. There's people riding from all over the place to come here this weekend from Brisbane and Gold Coast and surrounding areas. And great to see the healthiness of the Australian Superbike Championship now as it goes from strength to strength, and thanks to the good work of all the people in motorcycling Australia and everybody else behind the scenes that's got this on the way it is, from our major sponsors, Yamaha Motor Finance, Yamaha Motor Insurance, High Tech Batteries, everybody that's coming on board, Pirelli and Motul. It's been a great effort by all concerned, and we see the results, and I reckon the results today, Phil, with some of the racing we're going to see, are going to be absolutely magnificent.
Yeah, it certainly is. Of course, let's go down to Luke, who's on the podium with our top three from the Club Challenge.
The Motorcycle Sportsman of Queensland Club Challenge podium. In third, we have Glenn Chandler. Glenn, welcome to the podium.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
What was it like out on track today?
Excellent. Had a few troubles with the bike earlier in the weekend, but got it going a bit better now, so pretty happy with the third, yeah.
Sensational effort, mate. Sensational. On to number two. Anthony Carroll, 2 from 2, mate. That's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, no, I'm happy with that. I just got to get a little bit faster to be able to catch this fella on my left.
What's it going to take to catch him?
I think a lot more money and more guts from me.
Nice work. And nothing to be taken away from our first place, Lee Holmes. Lee, what a sensational effort, mate. You got out front and never looked back.
Yeah, fantastic. I've had some suspension changes overnight by Chris Jones at Triple X Suspension, so feeling fantastic out there. So, and broke another PB, so that's just awesome.
2 from 2, mate. You got to look at that smile right now.
I don't smile very often.
Fantastic effort, mate. That's That's your podium for the Club Challenge Race 2.
Fantastic, thank you.
Well, thanks very much, Luke, and congratulations to Lee Holmes too. He said he doesn't smile very much. The way he's been riding this weekend, Steve, he'll be smiling for the next 3 weeks.
I'll tell you one thing, mate. Phil, PBs do make you smile, and he just got one, so he's,
well, a PB and also a second race win of the weekend. It doesn't get much better than that.
No, not really. He's probably got another race to go, though, has he?
Yes, he has got another race this afternoon, so he can do another PB and possibly take 3 from 3.
And if he's lucky, get another smile going on.